Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, October 1st. We are in October. Hope you had a good Monday. Being Tuesday, we are going to be looking at the new releases that have been published this week that are on the grittier side of crime. It's mysteries and thrillers. Every day of the week, we look at a different genre that has been released this week. And just quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. They go for 2.5 hours. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Altogether, in total, I do 10 hours of reading sprints each and every week. Let us jump in to the mysteries. Now, the first one is a cozy. It's one I was looking forward to release this week. I didn't get to it yesterday, but I wanted to be sure to show everybody. It's called. This is the second book in the Raiders of the Arcana series. It's historical. It's very much like The Mummy or Raiders of the Lost Ark. The second book is called Tomb of the Sun King. This is by Jacqueline Benson. Archivist and suffragette Ellie Mallory always dreamed of putting her scholarly skills to work in the ancient sands of Egypt. She never imagined she would be doing so in order to save an object of legendary power from a batch of ruthless villains. Racing baddies to an arcanum of biblical proportions is only one of Ellie's problems. Her hopelessly academic and perpetually mortified stepbrother, Dr. Neil Fairfax, is about to learn that she's been gallivanting around the globe with his danger magnet best friend, Adam Bates, the roguish surveyor for whom Ellie harbors increasingly complicated feelings. Add the petite and terrifyingly fearless Constant Tyrrell to the mix, and Ellie either has a crack team of artifact-saving experts to hand, or a recipe for disaster. Together, they'll learn to follow a trail of They'll need to follow a trail of 3,000-year-old clues to the necropolis of Saqqara, to the temples of Luxor and beyond, where the ruined capital of a heretic pharaoh hides a secret with potential to upend history. I do love that. I loved it. Again, if you've been looking for a book that is similar to the movie The Mummy, that is a good contender. Hi, Elena. Yay, today's October 1st, and it's almost Halloween time. We're getting closer. Good morning, Kim. They just brought my breakfast. Oh, good, good. Got to get the fuel in there so you can keep on healing. Good morning, Mary. Trouble this morning with my internet. Oh, no, so may lose you. Off to volunteer at the library today. Under flood watch for most of the day. Raining, but not too heavy yet. Oh, my goodness. Hi, Kim. Bon appetit. I hope you are doing well today. Yes. The Troubling Death of Maddie Benson by Terry Shames, 11th in the Samuel Craddock mysteries. Everyone knows everyone in a small town like Jarrett Creek, so Chief of Police Samuel Craddock is perplexed when he receives a call from a woman asking the police to rescue her sister. Who is Maddie Benson? Maddie said she had to get away, but she didn't get far. When Craddock finds her just off the highway, she's already dead, shot in the head. And as he learns more about the mysterious Maddie and the real reason behind her recent move to Jarrett Creek, his career is plunged into jeopardy. Can he unravel a terrible knot of lies, threats, dangerous politics, and shocking secrets to reveal the truth behind the troubling death of Maddie Benson? All right, let's try that again. I too am having internet problems. Had some good walking yesterday and sat up a good bit. Oh, good. Step by step. The Life and Death of Rose Doucette by Harry Hunsicker. Dallas private investigator Dylan Fisher hasn't seen his ex-wife Rose in 3 years, which is why he's surprised when she asks him to meet her at a hotel. Rose Doucette is a homicide detective and she wants Dylan's help with a murder investigation that she's been asked to step back from but can't seem to let go. They review the details of the case and part ways, but as Rose is leaving the parking lot, Dylan sees a suspicious car begin to follow her. Feeling uneasy, he tails the car and tries to warn Rose, but he's too late. The driver of the car shoots her, killing her instantly before speeding away. The police are determined to pin the murder on Dylan, so he's left with no choice but to find the killer himself. Teaming up with Rose's widower, a defense attorney named Tito, the pair dive into Rose's past to figure out who could have wanted to kill the woman they both loved and what they are trying to hide. The Elias Network by Simon Gervais, first in the Caspian Anderson series. This is described as Mr. and Mrs. Smith meet a political thriller. Caspian Anderson is a translator for the United Nations, or so he's led everyone to believe. No one suspects that mild-mannered Caspian, with his baggy clothes and sensible car, is actually an elite assassin for the US government, and that's just how he wants it. For 10 years, Caspian has worked under the codename Elias for Onyx, a black program deep within the Department of Homeland Security. His latest mission takes him to Switzerland to kill a target tied to a human trafficking ring. There, Caspian stumbles onto a web of conspiracies involving high-level political figures. Meanwhile, Caspian's girlfriend is starting to pull away, and he wonders whether she may have secrets of her own. The truth is, Liesel Bergman's a spy, but neither knows the truth about the other yet. As their covert operations converge, trust becomes paramount. Can they work together to bring down the enemy with their lives and hearts still intact? End of row one. That is good news, Kim. Good to get up and about, but no, it isn't easy. Yeah, sometimes you have to push through it. Ugh. No Prayers for the Dying, first in the Gage Files by Dale M. Nelson. Ex-CIA operative Matt Gage believed the covert world was firmly in his rear view, but the untimely demise of a Silicon Valley powerhouse drags him back to the subterranean chessboard of spycraft. At the behest of the tenacious Elizabeth Zhu, the magnate's daughter, he starts an inquiry that promises more shadows than truths. From the vibrant alleys of Chinatown to the imposing skyscrapers of the tech giants, a sinister web unfolds where the line between friend and foe isn't just blurred, it's non-existent. Each revelation is a grenade with its pin pulled. Every move is made on a knife's edge, and with every step, Gage walks closer into the subtle battle being waged far from the public eye. And they are comparing it to Jack Reacher and the Bourne series. The Seventh Floor by David McCloskey. Where were all these spy books last week when it was still September? 6 CIA officers, dear friends and cherished enemies. For a quarter century, they have stolen other people's secrets. Now they must steal each other's. A Russian arrives in Singapore with a secret to sell. When the Russian is killed and Sam Joseph, the CIA officer dispatched for the meet, goes missing, Operational Chief Artemis Proctor is made a scapegoat for the disaster and run out of the service. Months later, Sam appears at Proctor's doorstep with an explosive secret. There is a Russian mole buried deep within the highest ranks of the CIA. One, really, with stuff going on these days? The entire. As Proctor and Sam investigate, they arrive at a short list of suspects made up of both Proctor's closest friends and fiercest enemies. The hunt requires Proctor to dredge up her checkered past in the service of the CIA, placing the pair in the sights of a savvy Russian spy master who will protect Moscow's mole in Langley at all costs. What happens when friendships forged by sweat and blood from the farm to Afghanistan and the executive 7th floor of CIA's Langley headquarters are put to the ultimate test? What we can truly know about the people we love the most. The sequel, which is a sequel to a book called The Plot. This is second in the book series by Jean Hemph Corlitz. Anna Williams Bonner has taken care of business. That is to say, she's taken care of her husband, best-selling novelist Jacob Finch Bonner, and laid to rest those anonymous accusations of plagiarism that so tormented him. Now she is living the contented life of a literary widow, enjoying her husband's royalty checks in perpetuity. But for the second time in her life, a work of fiction intercedes, and this time it's her own debut novel, The Afterword. After all, how hard can it be to write a universally lauded bestseller? But when Anna publishes her book and indulges in her own literary acclaim, she begins to receive excerpts of a novel she never expected to see again, a novel that should no longer exist. That it does means something has gone very wrong, and someone out there knows far too much about her late brother, her late husband, and just possibly Anna herself. What does this person want, and what are they prepared to do? She has come too far and worked too hard to lose what she values most, the sole and uncontested right to her own story, and she is, by any standard, a master storyteller. Definitely not easy. Sounds right up my alley. Love that genre. The House at Watch Hill. A whole bunch of little words there. By Karen Marie Moaning First in the Watch Hill trilogy. Zoe Gray is reeling from the sudden death of her mother when she receives a surprising call from an attorney in Divinity, Louisiana, with the news she has been left an inheritance by a distant relative, the terms of which he will only discuss in person. Destitute and alone with nothing left to lose, Zoe heads to Divinity and discovers she is the sole beneficiary of a huge fortune and a monstrosity of a house that sits ominously on the peak of Watch Hill, but she must live in it alone for 3 years before the house or the money is hers. Met with this irresistible opportunity to finally build a future for herself, Zoe puts aside her misgivings about the foreboding Gothic mansion and the strange circumstances, and moves in, where she is quickly met by a red-eyed Stygian owl and an impossibly sexy Scottish groundskeeper. Her new home is full of countless myths, secrets, and mystifying riddles, with doors that go nowhere, others that are impossible to open, and a turret into which there is no visible means of ingress. And the townspeople are odd. What Zoe doesn't yet know is that her own roots lie in this very house, and that in order to discover her true identity and awaken her dormant powers, she will have to face off against sinister forces she doesn't quite comprehend, or risk being consumed by them. It has a definitely gothic seasonal feel. End of row two. Rita McFadden has a new one. The Boyfriend. She's looking for the perfect man. He's looking for the perfect victim. Sydney Shaw, like every single woman in New York, has terrible luck with dating. She's seen it all. Men who lie in their dating profile, men who stick her with the dinner bill, and worst of all, men who can't shut up about their mothers. But finally, she hits the jackpot. Her new boyfriend is utterly perfect. He's charming, handsome, and works as a doctor at a local hospital. Sydney is swept off her feet. Then the brutal murder of a young woman, the latest in a string of deaths across the coast, confounds police. The primary suspect, a mystery man who dates his victims before he kills them. Sydney should feel safe. After all, she's dating the guy of her dreams. She can't shake her own suspicions that the perfect man may not be as perfect as he seems. Because someone is watching her every move, and if she doesn't get to the truth, she'll be the killer's next victim. Well, first off, honey, there is no perfect man. Just saying. Get that right out of your head. Rough Pages by Lev A.C. Rosen, third in the Evander Mills series. Rough Pages. Did I say the title? Set in 1950s San Francisco. Private Detective Evander Andy Mills has been drawn back to the Lavender House estate for a missing person case. Pat, the family butler, has been volunteering for a book service, one that specializes in mailing queer books to a carefully guarded list of subscribers. With bookseller Howard Salzberger gone suspiciously missing along with his address book, everyone on that list, including some of Andy's closest friends, is now in danger. A search of Howard's bookstore reveals that someone wanted to stop him and his co-owner, Dorothea Lamb, from sending out their next book. The evidence points not just to the feds, but to the mafia, who would be happy to use the subscriber list for blackmail. Andy has to maneuver through both the government and the criminal world, all while dealing with a nosy reporter who remembers him from his days as a police detective and wants to know why he's no longer a cop. With his own secrets closing in on him, can Andy find the list before all the lives on it are at risk? I do like the cover. No One Will Know by Rose Carlyle. They're the perfect couple. They have the perfect plan. All they need is the perfect victim. Julia and Christopher Highgate have the picture perfect life, gobs of money thanks to their lucrative shipping enterprise and an estate on a secluded island. When they meet Eve Sylvester, they know she's the exact person they should hire to be their child's nanny. Eve doesn't have any living relatives, she's lost touch with her friends, and her partner is out of the picture. Best of all, she's expecting a baby. Eve thinks she's landed the greatest gig. Previously desperate and penniless, now she lives like a queen and have a promising future for her daughter. But the job seems too good to be true. Why would the Highgates hire Eve if she has no prior nannying experience? Why must Eve stay out of sight? And what's with the mysterious yachts coming in and out of the Highgates' private marina? It's too late to ask questions, though. Eve is already in far too deep. Okay. Exposure by Ramona Emerson, second in the Rita Jean novel. I apologize. In Gallup, New Mexico, where violent crime is 5 times the national average, a serial killer is operating unchecked. His targets indigent native people whose murders are easily disguised as death by exposure on the frigid winter streets. He slips unnoticed through town, hidden in plain sight by his unassuming nature, while the voices in his head guide him toward a terrifying vision of glory. As the Gallup detectives struggle to put the pieces together, they consider calling in a controversial specialist to help. Rita Jean, Albuquerque PD forensic photographer, is at a crisis point in her career. Her colleagues are watching her with suspicion after the recent revelation that she can see the ghosts of murder victims. Her unmanageable caseload is further complicated by the fact that half the department has blacklisted her for ratting out a corrupt fellow cop. And back home in Tohatchi in the Navajo reservation, Rita's grandma is getting older. Maybe it's time for her to leave police work behind entirely, if only the ghosts will let her. End of row 3. Every Moment Since by Mary Beth Mayhew Whalen. A small southern town, an ordinary Saturday night. A little boy disappears without a trace. Everyone in Winnett, North Carolina, knows the name Davy Malcor, knows the video clip of him juggling 4 balls all at the very same time, knows the Marty McFly jacket his mother made for his birthday that he wore proudly and often, but no one knows what happened to him the night he went missing more than 20 years ago. When the jacket is unexpectedly uncovered, the cold case reopens and Davy's family is thrust into yet another media storm. But at the heart of the story are 4 people forever changed by one single night. Thaddeus Malcor, Davy's older brother, created the life of his dreams by writing a best-selling memoir about his family's experience and is enjoying success and notoriety as a result, even if the memoir doesn't quite reveal the whole story. Tabitha Malcor, his mother, is divorced and living alone, advocating for victims' rights and faithfully cataloging her regrets each week, never including her biggest regret of all. Anissa Weaver was just a kid herself when Davy went missing, and her connection to him is one she cannot reveal, as she serves as the Malcor family's public information officer. And long suspected in Davy's disappearance, Gordon Swift has kept his head down and scraped together a decent life. But the new attention to the case makes it impossible to hide from the public and the past. That sounds like maybe an interesting take on what happens to the family. Not necessarily what happens, but how they, I hate to say it, capitalize on it. I like that cover too. Yes. Yes. Love that cover exposure setting is what I love. So some options here. Yes. Grim Reaper's Guide to Catching a Killer. A Scythe Mystery. One books. It says by Maxi Dara. Murder is not her department. It's not like it used to be. Modern day Grim Reapers wear business casual, not black cloaks, and they don't carry size. They work for Scythe, the secure collection, yielding, and transportation of human essences, where the Department of Natural Causes is the least exciting gig, and that's how Kathy Valance likes it. Boring and predictable. She has enough stress in her personal life. She's mid-divorce, pregnant, and terrified she doesn't have what it takes to be a good mom. Then she goes to pick up a new client and finds his soul is missing. When she finally tracks down Connor Ortiz, he angrily insists he was murdered and he refuses to move on until Kathy finds out why and by whom. Kathy has only 45 days to solve the mystery before the boy's soul is doomed to roam the earth as a ghost forever. To do that, she'll have to call on the help of her retired mentor, her almost ex-husband, and inconveniently, Connor himself. This is the wildest case of her career, and one wrong move could cost Kathy her job, not to mention her life. Last one. We're almost there. Myrtle Beach Burns by Caleb Wiggle. Seventh in the Myrtle Beach Amateur Sleuth Mystery Series. In Myrtle Beach Burns, it's a finale of the series. Clark Thomas delves deeper into the enigmatic drinking game circumstances surrounding his wife's death. From clandestine eavesdropping to shocking revelations of betrayal, each chapter unfurls new layers of intrigue and danger. As Clark and Detective Gomez uncover connections to a faceless holding company exposed in previous book and untangle a web of suspicious deaths, they find themselves ensnared in a labyrinth of deceit within their own ranks. With each new twist and turn, Clark's paranoia grows, forcing him to confront not only external threats but also his own trust issues, his relationships with Gomez and Andrea, and his inner demons. As the stakes rise and allies become scarce, Clark must navigate a treacherous landscape where every step could lead him closer to the truth or to his own demise. And that's it. That's all we got. We made it. Oh, don't do that. Thank you. All righty. Hey, Storm. Have a good day, Kim. Keep on keeping on. Indeed. Thank you so much. You do such a great job. Thank you. I hope your day is great too. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you have a good day at the library. Kim, have a great day, y'all. See you tonight. Indeed, we do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I get here as quickly as I can after work, so sometimes I start a few minutes early, but there is road construction going on, so I do my best. Happy Tuesday and October. Definitely we're into fall now. Got here for the last one. That's okay. I post this. You can always watch it. Kim, thank you. Date. Hi, hi, Storm. All right, guys, have a very good Tuesday. Hope to see you tonight. Tomorrow we'll be looking at romance. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good morning. Have a good day. God bless.